Am I the butthole for picking my dog over my pregnant sister? Disclaimer, throwaway, plus, not in the USA. This happened about a week ago, but I'm getting a lot of crap from family and friends, so I want an external opinion. Last year my, female 32, sister, female 28, was kicked out of her boyfriend's house and I took her in. We don't have the best relationship, but she was jobless and I was the only relative still living in our country. Surprise, surprise. About 2 months later she figured out she was pregnant. One day she started to complain about my dog, a beautiful 2-year-old half husky, and how it would be bad for her baby and that she wouldn't raise her kid with a wild animal around. My dog is a total sweetheart. I told her it was my house and if she was not comfortable here, she could leave and my dog was staying no matter what. She kept complaining, but I wouldn't change my mind. About 2 weeks ago I had to travel for work to a remote location for a few days. When I came back my dog was not home and my sister claimed she had no idea where it was. We got into a fight because I didn't believe her. I ended up storming off and asked a few neighbors if they had seen it. One told me the last time he saw it was when my sister took him somewhere a few days ago. She uses my Uber account, because she's broke, so when I found an odd trip to the other side of the city, I connected the dots. I drove all the way over there and after asking around I found my dog in a street restaurant. The owner took him after a blonde pregnant woman left him leashed to a fence. I ended up explaining the situation, paying him like $500 and I got my dog back. When I went back home I kicked out my sister. I gave her enough money for a week in a hotel and sent her on her merry way. She made a huge scandal and I admit I was a bit too forceful, but I was furious. She called all my family and friends and they're all telling me I'm a butthole for picking my dog over my sister and that I should take her back, that I should value that unborn baby more than a silly animal. I think my dog is more important and what my sister did is unforgivable, but I'll accept your judgment. Update: first of all, thanks for all the awards. I was not expecting gold for this. After reading all your comments I feel better with my decision. I'll try to answer some questions but I can't read all the comments. I'm sorry if I missed something. I left my dog with my sister because I never thought she would do something like this. She was complaining and that should have been a huge red flag, but she complains about many things and never do anything else. I just thought it was something she'd forget about in a few weeks. I didn't leave her in charge of my pet in the sense that she didn't need to do anything for it. I have an automatic feeder and my backyard is big enough for it to go without walking for a few days. I live in a country where animal protection laws are almost non-existent. It would have been a hassle to get my lawyer to convince the police to get involved. Blame me for not using the proper legal channels, but I just wanted my dog back as soon as possible. I was really lucky my sister was dumb enough to take an Uber or I probably would have never found my dog. The easiest thing was to pay the guy who found him. I'm going to sound like an awe for this, but in that part of town people don't take animals for the goodness of their hearts. I was lucky I could convince the guy to let me buy it back. About the bit too forceful part, I mean I was furious and screamed like a mad woman. She was hysterical too. The neighbors got involved and supported me and I ended up throwing her the money for the hotel through the taxi window. I'm pretty sure I scared the hell out of the driver. I gave her money because even if I was mad, it felt wrong to throw someone pregnant to the streets with only her clothes and cell phone. At least the money would be enough for her not to starve for a few days until she gets help from someone else. She's not ever living with me again. I'm going no contact with everyone who sided with her. Yes, I explained my point of view, but I come from a very conservative family that values human life above all. I've been drilled this in my head my whole life, so it was hard to know if I was making the right choice, which now seems obvious. I don't really know why she broke things off with her boyfriend. The story changes a lot, but I'll tell you they met when she came to visit me a few years ago and she ended up moving in with him all in the same month. The arrangement was that she could live with me until the pandemic is over. No one would hire a pregnant woman, plus, she works in tourism, which is a dead field right now. NTA. You didn't choose the dog over your sister. She stole from you and you discovered she couldn't be trusted to live in your house. She got herself kicked out. That silly animal is your responsibility, your sister's unborn baby is not. I can't upvote this enough. The dog was there in the house prior to the sister moving in. That's not her house. You can't make rules for a house you don't own. Plain and simple. Or lease, when someone does you a favor, you don't crap on their carpet, you stay out of the way and thank the stars and moon someone helped you. Edit, spelling. Have to ask for the inevitable dog tax. Also learning as a pet owner, my cat comes before anyone because my cat, and in this situation you wanted your dog, not a pregnant family member. Yes please, pet tax. I'm withholding my vote until the tax situation is resolved. Agreed. Must see picture of the dog to ensure that he is a good boy. If he is, original poster is NTA. All dogs go to heaven, ergo all dogs are good boys. This is simply not true. Some dogs are good girls. I have a 3-month-old bearded dragon and a 6-month-old leopard gecko, and I've literally turned down overnight stay, read, lots of sex, with a very very hot guy, who has the COVID antibodies and lives alone, because I just upgraded the baby Beardy's tank and didn't want her to spend her first night in it all by herself. In case she got scared. 100% agree with this. Who does your sister think she is getting rid of your dog like that? It is not her place or her animal. Your family and friends are completely idiots and they can just fly her to them if they have such a problem with it. If family/friends complain, then let them arrange to take her in. Sister showed no respect for her family, her dog, and wishes. She essentially left the dog tied up alone, showing no empathy to its life. Never trust an animal abuser. Most people living with someone in a similar arrangement would be grateful and appreciative, and respectful property. Sister is deceitful and a thief, not the kind of person you want to share a house with. Not the butthole. Not the butthole. She bit the hand that fed her. She had no right to give away your dog. She should be reaching out to the father of her child or other friends who can take her in. She only has herself to blame for her getting kicked out of your home. She was lucky you even gave her money for her to stay in a hotel for a week from you after what she did. She didn't give the dog away. She left it to die alone, chained to a fence on the other side of town. She could have taken it to a rescue or rehome online. But she didn't, and that makes her the butthole. She's not the butthole just because she left the dog to die, which is horrible. She's also a butthole because she tried to force original poster to get rid of the dog when original poster was kind enough to let her stay. She's also a butthole because she stole the dog and took it somewhere with the intention of it not coming back, dead or not. Edit, wrong word, oops. While yes, I agree with you, she would definitely still be the butthole if she took the dog to a rescue or tried to revoke the dog because it isn't her dog to make decisions for. Sister is the biggest butthole. She abandoned that dog. Any number of horrible things could have happened in the short time it was left there. She has no regard for life. For she's a grade A butthole and doesn't deserve a shred of help from original poster after, as you said, she left the dog to die. Yes. What the person above me said. She is more than TA. She took your dog from his home, took him to where he didn't recognize any smells or surroundings. Tied to a fence, and left. Who does this? What did she think your reaction would be? She acted as if it were her house and her rules. She had to go. She really left you no choice. And original poster paid $500 to get him back and still gave her money for a hotel. She is still too nice for her. I would just kick her out without money. Dogs are family too, and she didn't care. I would like to say I wouldn't pay for a room, but regardless of what she did, my baby niece or nephew is in her belly, so for that reason alone I'd make sure she was safe and would remain that way till someone else could take her in. But without my baby family in her belly, she could sleep in a dumpster. Leaving a dog to die doesn't make you a butthole, it makes you evil and probably sociopathic. Even taking it to a rescue shelter would be bad, because the dog has a rightful owner who loves him. It makes me so angry what she did. I'm starting to see why maybe she was kicked from her boyfriend's home. No kidding. The topic just happens to be a dog. The issue is that sister betrayed original poster and then lied about it. Get your untrustworthy butt out of my home. I do think this is worse than, say, giving away someone's lamp or something, but the underlying issue is the same. People who lie, demand and steal from me don't get a free place to stay. Not the butthole. NTA. Yeah, tell your family they should take her in and document all her antics and how she gets kicked out of each of their homes for her entitled behavior. We can all then peruse it on our /entitled parents. Thank you in advance. She didn't even give the dog away. She abandoned it. If I was original poster, there would be absolutely no redemption for sister ever. Like, I know pregnant woman hormone can be extreme sometime, but where in hell she was thinking? Op had her dog for 2 years now, and her sister was really thinking she was going to get away with take away original poster dog? And yeah, she's lucky to have money for hotel. And we need the dog tax. Pregnancy hormones are more likely to induce motherly behavior, not destructive behavior. She didn't even give the poor animal away. She abandoned him. The guy who took the dog and said that she just left him chained to a fence. This was beyond cruel. The dog could have gotten hurt, no food, no water, and probably terrified out of its mind to be taken from his home and left in unfamiliar surroundings and surrounded by strangers. Not the butthole at all, but she is. I definitely wouldn't have given her any money. I would also be billing her the $500 incurred on getting the dog back. Sister should pay original poster back, but we know that won't happen. NTA, agree. I honestly don't know and don't want to know how I'd react if a human hurt my dog or cat like that, especially if it was in front of me. Like, I still haven't forgiven my cousin's dog for starting a fight with my girl, and that was more than a year ago. Neither of them were seriously hurt, it was nothing deep, but there was blood. My girl is strong AF and kicked my cousin's dog's ass. I'm proud of her for defending herself. If anyone did this to me, I'd likely never speak to them again at best. My dog and cats are part of my family. She dog-napped your dog and abandoned them up. What TF did she expect to happen? And she left your buddy tied to a effing fence so they'd be completely stuck and helpless. Does your family know the real story? Hopefully you have a decent family who'll be horrified and disgusted by you sister's actions, as they should be. Also, WTF? We got our first family dog when my littlest sister was also a baby. She grew up with him and he was the sweetest, most tolerant and chilled out dog I've ever met. Exactly. Anything could have happened to her dog, stolen, somehow gotten free from the fence and ran away, hurt in some way. There are terrible people out there that could have done something to that poor baby. Original poster could have never seen her dog again because of her sister's selfishness. I've had fights with my dad for walking my dog without telling me first, so if anything like this happened I would 100% cut them out of my life. Stole and lied about it, hoping original poster wouldn't find out. I would choose the dog over that sister. The fact that she even felt like this was okay blows my mind. Her sister is a guest in her home, one that doesn't get to dictate who lives there. Original poster should tell family/friends to take in her sister then. She's done her part in sheltering her this far. Not the butthole, of course you chose the dog over your sister. Who wouldn't? Your dog has better manners and isn't a shady liar. Change your locks and block your sister. Also a bit presumptuous to assume she was going to get to raise the kid there? And then demanding change to the household according to those assumptions. Like, WTF? Did original poster ever agree to living with a newborn? To helping raise a child? Brining in your sister is one thing, but her sister's birth plan being to stay and raise her kid in her sister's home is a whole other level of head up your butt that just blows my mind. You are 100% NTA. Your sister is a spoiled brat, thief, animal abuser, and can never be trusted in your home again. No second chances. I can't emphasize this enough. For those who call and berate you, ask for their address so that you can Uber your so-called sister's sorry ass over to them. That dog is your family. Imagine the confusion when the dog found himself with a total stranger for several days. Imagine the trust that the poor dog had to get into a car with this thing that pretends to be your sister. Seriously, no contact, and be prepared for the kid to be dumped on you. Or perhaps chained to a fence at a restaurant across town. Stolen could have indirectly killed the dog by abandoning it. Not the butthole. Not the butthole. I've rewritten this so many times, I'm so angry. She's a monster. Never let her near your dog again. I would never forgive anyone if they did that to my dog. I can't believe she's going to raise a child, poor kid. I know, right? I don't know how original poster managed to refrain from doing far worse things than just kicking her out, cause I'm seeing red just reading this. Not the butthole. She got way more than she deserved from your original poster. NTA, original poster did the wrong thing to kick her sister out of the house like that. Instead, she should have taken her sister to the other side of the city and leashed her to a fence for a few days, then sold her to a restaurant owner for $500 plus Uber fees. I'll admit, you had me the first half. Not the butthole, this is what I was going to say. Seriously though, I wouldn't even have given her money for a hotel, but it just goes to show some people are more tolerant/patient with others. Yeah, there are plenty of countries where this could be considered animal cruelty and she could have reported her, not to even mention the fact that dogs are at least seen as property in most countries. Well, to be fair, the sister sounds like exactly the type of person who is going to get her kid taken away. Right? If she finds the dog to be such an inconvenience to her, imagine how she will feel about a newborn. Boy, is she in for a surprise. She sounds like an awful human being. I know, right? I can't believe how cruel that was. How someone treats animals is a hell of an insight of who they are as a person. I hope original poster ride themselves of this monster. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.